Welcome back to the Redeemed Mess. I'm Kathy, and on this podcast, I talk about the messiness of life and how Jesus, in His grace and mercy, redeems every part of it. Whether you're walking through hard seasons, searching for hope, or just need a gentle reminder of God's faithfulness, you're in the right place. Let's dive into today's episode. Today, I'm going to talk about friendship. Friendship is one of the most beautiful and complicated parts of life. I've experienced all kinds of friendships. The loyal ones that last decades, they are a few. The seasonal ones that show up in a time of need, and the ones that, quite honestly, left me feeling confused, drained, and even wounded. Over the years, I've learned something hard but freeing. Not every relationship is truly a friendship. I used to call them that. Maybe because it felt easier or more hopeful. But now I take a closer look because some of those relationships, especially the one-sided or phony ones, weren't based on trust, mutual care, or godly love. Some of the hardest ones actually came from my church circles, even the Bible studies, and that's not easy to admit. They were the people who called me friend on Sunday mornings or in those meetings, and when I left the church, I never heard from them again. I have reached out to them, but sometimes I get crickets. That kind of silence says a lot. It hurt, but it also taught me to hold loosely to labels and tightly to discernment. Some friendships affected my peace. Some even affected my reputation. Others pulled me down spiritually or emotionally. And then there were the love-hate relationships, the roller coasters of closeness and tension where I never quite knew where I stood. Can you relate to any of that? That's why it's so important to understand the different types of relationships in our lives. Lysa TerKeurst talks about this in one of her books. She reminds us that it's not unchristian to guard your heart. It's actually wise. And Proverbs 4:23 says, above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. Think about that one. Here are some of the red flags of a not so good friendship she points out in one of her books. When you feel emotionally drained after every interaction. When someone makes you feel guilty for setting healthy limits. When they disappear unless they need something. When there's manipulation, jealousy, or spiritual superiority. A true friendship sharpens you, uplifts you, and helps you grow. It's not perfect, but it's real. It shows up when it matters. It listens, it prays, it forgives, and loves through the mess. So if you're walking through a season of letting go or reevaluating friendships, I want you to know this. You're not being mean. You're being faithful. Faithful to who God is shaping you to be, and He will send the right people for the right reasons. People who are safe, kind, honest, and spirit-led. Let's keep our hearts open but protected. Let's call things what they are, and let's trust God to prune where needed and plant what will flourish. As always, take what you need, leave the rest, be blessed.